Hello everyone, Mr. Westrick here, and now we're ready for another math lesson. And today we're going to take another look at division and how we can use the distributive property as another way to do long division. So we're going to take a long division problem. We'll do it the traditional way, but then we will also do it using the distributive property to see how we can break down each part of the division problem. So in order to do that, let's go to the board. And so we see an example of the distributive property as we do the problem 639 divided by 3. It would be the same as you could divide the whole 639 by 3, or you could break it up and divide 600 by 3 because there's 600s in 639, and you could divide the 30 because there's 3 tens in 639. You could divide the 30 by 3, and you could divide the 9 ones by 3, and then you could add all those quotients together to get your answer. So let's see how this would work out. Let's go ahead and work out these problems, first the traditional way, and then by using the distributive property. Okay, so now we're looking at our division problem, and first we'll do it the traditional way, which is 639 divided by 3. So the first thing we do in a long division problem is we go to the first number in the hundreds place in our problem, which is the 6. And we ask how many 3's will fit into that 6, or 3 times what equals 6. And we know that 3 times 2 equals 6. And so now we work the problem. We go 3 times 2, and that equals 6. Okay. Then we subtract. 6 take away 6 leaves us 0. You can either write the 0 or not write the 0. And then we bring down. If you know the order of the family, which will be in one of our lessons, we know that it's brother that brings down. So we bring down. Let's put an arrow to show that we're bringing that 3 down. And then we ask ourselves how many 3's in 3. Well, 3 times 1 equals 3. There's only one 3 in 3. Put that here. 3 times 1 equals 3. We once again subtract, and we get another 0. Brother now brings down the 9. And we're at Dad. Dad divides. We ask 3 times what equals 9? 3 times 3 equals 9. So we can put that here. 3 times 3 is 9. And we can subtract that out and get another 0. There's nothing left to bring down. So our answer is 213. Now, let's see if we can get that problem, that solution, that quotient the other way by using the distributive property. Let's go to 3 and see how many times it divides into 600. Well, one lesson you might want to look at is how we can box in zeros to divide, which we're going to do. Okay, box in those zeros, and now what we're going to do is ask ourselves how many 3's in 6. And there again is 2. 2 times 3 equals 6. So we'll put a 2 up here. And then we just put our zeros back that we boxed in. There's 200. Okay, we got to add it to the other solutions. So we'll put an addition sign here. And we'll ask how many 3's in 30. Well, we know that there's 1 3 in 3. 3 times 1 is 3. And we have 1 0 we boxed in, could box in. And we just add that 0 back. So now we know that 200 plus 10, because 3 goes into 30 10 times, or 3 times 10 is 30. Now we just have one more, and that's really easy. And that's 3 times what equals 9, or 9 when you divide it by 3. You know that 3 times 3 equals 9. So now we add them together. 200 plus 10 is 210, plus 3 more is 213. So we see that it matches. So boys and girls, if you have a hard time doing division this way, and you know how to box in your zeros, many times you will find the distributive property in division helpful to break down the division problem this way in order to do it. Thank you very much. Okay, and now let's do the same division problem, only this time let's use the distributive property. And that means we're going to break the 639 into 630 and 9. And we'll divide all 3 of those by 3 separately, and then we'll add them together. So, let's look at 3 and see how many 3's go into 600. Now, if you haven't seen our lesson on boxing in zeros, I encourage you to, because that makes division really, really easy when you have problems with zeros in it. But you can see how I do it in this problem. We box in 2 zeros. We'll just put a box around them to say we're not going to worry about them right now. And we're just going to ask how many 3's go into that 6. Or 3 times what equals 6. And we know from our last problem that it is 2. Okay, and 3 times 2 equals 6. Alright, but we don't have to do all of that subtracting. All we have to do is add our zeros back. And when we do that, we have 200. We're going to add that to the answer to this problem. And we're going to ask ourselves how many 3's in 30. Again, we have a 0 to box in. Don't have to worry about that right now. Just ask how many 3's in 3. We know it's 1. And then we just add our 0 back. Okay, so now we have 200 plus 10. And then how many 3's in 9? Well, 3 times 3 equals 9. That was easy enough. And now all you have to do, boys and girls, is add all 3 numbers. 200 plus 10 is 210, plus 3 more is the 213 that we have. So it comes out 213, 213. They match. So sometimes you might find that, especially with a problem with zeros in it, to break down the 639 into each part. So thank you very much.